TS UNDERSWAP PACIFIST slash companion route, my review of it. My review of it, because it would be my review of the route. Okay, I'll just need to check if I have audio real quick. Okay, perfect, I do. Awesome and beautiful all at the same time. Okay, so TS UNDERSWAP. So before I dive deep into the whole topic and talking about it and stuff, there's a lot we need to discuss about it. So let me go ahead and put y'all down real quick. Let me set myself a little lower because Louis loves putting the chair up more higher. So TS UNDERSWAP. I remember I found out about this game. I think I was because remember, this is still very early in my Undertale fan game deep dive. So when I initially played TS UNDERSWAP, I think I played it a little bit after I initially played Undertale Yellow. And I remember that hold on, let me actually look through my videos really quick. Yeah, I played Outer Tail and then a little bit of Delta Traveler before that point. Before I played before I played TS UNDERSWAP. And I remember when I first got into TS UNDERSWAP 3 months ago, I remember, or close to 4 months ago, I remember that I loved it. I loved how it was all swapped, swapped. Temmie was the one who felt like Flowey. Asgore was the one who felt like Toriel. But they also had, I don't know, things that are cool. Because obviously, we all know the gameplay of TS UNDERSWAP. It's just going to be the same as Undertale Yellow with its mechanics and stuff. It's all virtually the same. So I don't really need to go into gameplay too much. But when I was diving deep into TS UNDERSWAP's world, I felt, by the way, thank you for the 4 likes. I felt, it felt good. And I do want to point something out that I think is important. I don't know if I showed it off in my original video, but I don't think I did. But TS UNDERSWAP, and I want to put some praise on TS UNDERSWAP before I kind of talk about more about its world and its characters, which, by the way, all the characters in this are obviously pretty dang good, and their development is amazing throughout, right? But anyways, I want to talk about the settings because I think the settings is very important to kind of know about, right? So this game, I love how this game and Undertale Yellow have controller support even on their mobile ports, where you're able to play using a PlayStation controller through the game. So if you don't really feel like using the touchscreen controls, which you can kind of see here because they have a mobile port. Shout outs to Team Switch for even giving us a mobile port of their game, which I bet that took forever. But anyways, so if you go down to extras and you scroll a bit, you can actually change the balancing / the difficulty of your game. So if you guys remember when I was playing Undertale Yellow, or my original video on Undertale Yellow, I was playing in normal mode, so I was struggling a lot more. And even in my original TS UNDERSWAP video, when I first made it, I started with normal mode because I didn't think extra mode had any sort of settings to make the game a little bit easier. Because keep in mind, right, obviously I went through the regular Undertale, all 3 routes on the normal difficulty, the difficulty you're supposed to play it on and stuff. I didn't really grab Temmie's armor, I didn't grab any of that stuff, so I just played on normal mode. And your boy is kind of I've been through the trenches, okay, of Undertale fan games whooping my ass, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, when I mean whoop my ass, I mean whoop my ass. Whoop my ass so bad, I'm leaving the game, or I'm quitting the game, or something like that. So, I'm very happy that TS UNDERSWAP actually goes over, right? And allows you to kind of change, not kind of change, but very much scale the difficulty of the game and how you want it to be, right? So, for example, you basically can scale it to 100, which is the normal difficulty of every Undertale fan game, or you can scroll it down to make your experience a little bit easier. I remember in my first video I didn't do this, but when I came back, I did this. I think each and every single time I played TS UNDERSWAP, or maybe I did do it I just didn't show it on stream that I changed the difficulty down to make it an easier time. And again, the reason I made it an easier time is because I've played millions of Undertale fan games, and I'm going to try to play millions more or hundreds more where, they have like a difficulty balancer, or like, that are super hard, because I know Undertale fans love their games super ridiculously hard. So anyways, as I was saying, right? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. So we start our journey right here. And I can't remember where I stopped in this video, but I know I got through like most of the ruins. I did struggle quite a bit in the ruins, but I remember I got out. And I just want to say this. The metaton of this universe, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Just like that one dude that said it in his fan game video, I might have to fuck the shit out of a ghost again. God damn it. Okay, this is the second ghost. I might have to... I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. Okay. Anyways, you get it, right? So, I remember in my first video of Undertale... what is it? I was struggling in Asgore's house, and I ended it... Well, actually, I didn't end it due to my own accord. Funny enough, my first video of TS Underswap... I don't know why I said Undertale. TS Underswap, my stream just completely crashed on me. And I was like because I remember I got super hooked in this game, like, rapidly fast. And keep in mind, even in this video and the other one that I did, what is it? Well, this is the first one, but keep in mind, right, I did all the videos in Pacifist, so, because that was what I wanted to do, because keep in mind, right, after my experience with regular Undertale, I honestly did not want to go through, like, genocide ever again. Not because of the whole thing that a lot of Undertale fans and a lot of other people have, where it's like, I can't stomach the thought of murking the characters or anything like that. It's not like that. That is, like, what's holding me from doing, like, neutral or Geno route, like, ever again. It's mainly because of how Geno was during regular Undertale is what made me steer clear from doing it, like, ever again. Because, like, Undying the Undying whooped my ass, and Sans whooped my ass. Obviously, I love Sans so much that I continue doing battles with him, but at least with a lot of those fan games, I'm already, like, automatically put on that route, or just, it's that one fight that I'm doing, It's not like a whole freaking route full of dudes I gotta go up against. But anyways, right? So in my second video, right, of course, as soon as I start doing this stuff. So like I said, we met the Skeleton Brothers, and also I do like how this game, in comparison to the other one, in the middle of the fucking... Like, I get mad when shit like that happens, right? But I understand, they're probably working on shit that's important. But yeah, I remember, like, through my journey, because I was just going through it, I was going through the motions, right? Like, and I mean, when I say going through the motions, I was going through it, like, meeting Papyrus and Sans. And I also like how, instead of just the usual Sans and Papyrus like it was in regular Undertale, which it is sort of like that in this game, but I like how they do a different approach, and they introduce... Hold on, let me get to it real quick. Let me show you what I mean, because I think it's early in this stream. I can't really necessarily remember, because I'm looking through my stream footage. And, yeah. So basically, Sans in TS Underswap's universe, right? At least this version. Team Switch is under TS Underswap. Sans has a superhero persona, and he's actually still him. Like, he isn't like, for example, because, usually when you think of TS Underswap, you think of the idea that everybody is swapped, because that's how Underswap originally works, right? Everybody's personalities and traits are swapped from regular Undertales. Like, for example, Papyrus is Sans, Sans is Papyrus, like, terms of personality, stats, and whatnot, and character and whatnot. But in TS Underswap, Sans is still himself, but he actually does a little bit more than regular Sans. And you would think, like, I mean, he still is go-lucky, lazy self, but I actually like this version of Sans, this Crossbones superhero personality, that we have in here for Sans. I think it's very unique. And I can't remember, but I was like, what the hell is Sans doing in this superhero getup? Because keep in mind, right, regular Sans would never do this. And by the way, again, people are working right outside my fucking apartment, so I have to hear that, and I apologize. I wish I did this review a little bit earlier, but shit happens. Or later, I don't know. But anyways, let me get to a scene where Papyrus shows up, right? And I was also thinking, I think at this time in the video, I was like, wait a minute. Sans and Papyrus, they should be, like, swapped, because you see Papyrus wearing Sans' outfit, or not exactly Sans' outfit, but like a hood stuff, and he looks very similar to his bro. BT Dubs, in this game, which I think is funny, both of them wear hoodies in this verse. Like, normally both of them wear hoodies, and like, you know, they're not, like, Papyrus doesn't wear his battle body in this universe, like, at all. And Sans doesn't really wear it either. Well, he wore it at a point, which we'll get to, but he didn't wear it, like, nowhere near as much, which I think is very different, and I also think it's very cool. And you're also with the Skeleton Brothers. Like, I know a lot of people, like, love the Skeleton Brothers to death, and some people feel like they've been overused, and I understand that feeling completely. But in my opinion, in TS Underswap, at least Team Switch's version, Team Switched version of it, right? Version of Underswap, I actually do not mind the Skeleton Brothers again. And I remember I even said in my Undertale Yellow review, like, damn, I missed the Skeleton Brothers because I wish they were in the game. But I do understand why they weren't in that game. But I understand why they're in this game, and I also love how they did it. So it's not just completely the same as regular Undertale. Through their nonsense, which they do have their moments, but it's not like, you know, it's not like how it was in regular Undertale. It's like completely different. Like, they go to Muffets, they deal with Muffet, which I thought Muffet was a tough battle, and all that other sort of stuff. They do a lot of things very differently from regular Undertale. But the thing that got me was, and I remember I was doing like the entire bit of like TS Underswap, just enjoying the game, loving my time, loving the experience as usual. And then I remember, like, after Dogame or whatever, a little bit, I ended the video soon after because I was like, man, I'm getting a little tired. So then I waited like a day or two later and whatnot, and I was like, you know what? I want to kind of get into TS Underswap again because I feel like TS Underswap this is a good game, at least to my knowledge, and I want to complete it in some way, shape, or form. And I said, you know what, let's get it on. After, obviously, I think I did at least one video before TS Underswap again, like called, I think, like Underverse Battles or something. It was an interesting fan game, nonetheless, right? But anyways, let's get right back into it. So, I remember after this, the third TS Underswap video that I ever made, I remember I got out of, I think, quote-unquote, the Snowden, you know. Oh my god, I hate these fucking ads that I have in my videos sometimes because I can't get into my own footage. But anyways, so, I kind of want to, like, kind of briefly go over this because I mentioned the whole Muffet battle and stuff and whatnot, and I don't know who that is. But I guess you go into battle with someone. Oh yeah, that's just Muffet, the Muffet battle. I already talked about that a little bit. So, after all the Muffet stuff, and after Pyro Sans leave you, you kind of go into this mansion with the Boogeyman and Kofkin K. Now, I'm going to mention this now, but I remember after I got to this mansion bit, right, in the game, I am going to talk about him a little bit, but I remember I got to this bit, and what you're supposed to do in this mansion is you're supposed to look around the mansion to do these certain objectives, right? To do these objectives that, you know, Kofkin K wants you to do. You even get put in a little vampire attire and everything. And I was, like, going through the mansion, right? Kind of looking like a fool a little bit. Because I was going to room, looking like a fool. And I remember, keep in mind, right? I don't like doing side quests. I don't like doing, little side pieces for other people in my games. I like going to point A to point B yada yada, and keeping it simple, keeping it in the in-between, right? And the reason I'm not really blasting my audio from these streams is because I don't want, you guys need to hear me over the game, the footage I'm trying to show you, right? So I remember, because of these objectives, and because I don't like doing objectives, I quit the game. And yes, I already know, people are going to tell me, dude, this is literally the same as Undertale Yellow. Didn't you also quit that game too because of a puzzle? Yes, because I don't like puzzles, and I quit I mean, obviously I quit the game, like Undertale Yellow and TS Underswap. I quit those games for two different reasons, but at the same time, I get it. I get myself, because keep in mind, this was like me from like 4, 5, 6 months ago, right? So I had none of the experience. I mean, obviously I had the experience of finishing regular Undertale, like doing all 3 routes of that game, and obviously some Deltarune experience at that point. But keep in mind, right, I wasn't completely delved into the fan fights or other fan games that also had full stories and side objectives and all that other sort of stuff like that. So basically, I didn't really, like, you know, kind of know, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really have the experience. So when I quit TS Underswap, like, for good, I actually just completely left this game, I think, for months on end. Because as you can see, after that third part where I just quit because I didn't know how to navigate Kofkin K's mansion, I kind of left it open, and I'm kind of glad I left it open instead of saying, like, final part where I would have to change the whole title and stuff and whatnot. I just decided to go out and play regular or different Undertale fan games. By the way, beat dubs. Undertale Project Spacetime is not that good. Anyways, so yeah, I spent, like, that month that I left the game, like, not even playing it. Like, I did all these fan fights that you see within this video. Fan fights or fan games or whatever. I also did a crazy amount in this one, but you get it, right? I did so many fan fights. I even returned the Delta Traveler. I even did, like, Promised, you know, an Undertale Conceptualized Neutral Run Sans Fight Mobile, like, full fight. You know, I went through so much stuff before I even thought of the idea of coming back. I spent months away from this game. You know, I've had my ups, I've had my downs, you know, in terms of winning fights, not winning fights, being a loser. Oh my god, don't even get me started on Horror Swap, which we will talk about one day. Jesus, we will talk about that one day. But yeah, I went through all these freaking vids, you know, of Undertale fan games, and keep in mind, I literally only just returned to TS Underswap, like, literally, and this is not even a joke, as you can see how many videos I left TS Underswap in. As you can see, Jesus, I only returned to it just yesterday, right? Just yesterday, I finally returned, because I said, you know what? I'm finally going to have the balls, or not the balls, but I'm going to finally get off my ass, and we're going to finish this game, right? So basically, one of my viewers, RJ, kind of said, hey, I'll be your freaking guide, right? I'll be your guide to kind of get you out of this area, because I can get you out of this area. I want you to kind of complete this game, at least once, or at least do all the routes or something like that, right? I want you to complete the game. Because I remember RJ, I think it was RJ that was the most that really wanted me to come back to TS Underswap and Undertale Yellow and kind of complete them, right? And because of him, and obviously other viewers too, and obviously my own thought process and my input of, like, yeah, you know what, it is about that time. So yesterday I was like, you know what, they're right. It's about that time I kind of come back to Undertale or TS Underswap, right? Because I beat Undertale Yellow, right? I can sure as hell beat this game. Especially, you know, and then I remember, like, the day before that, right? I got on the game, because, keep in mind, once you delete, like, the mobile app off your device completely, like, you lose all of your data. You don't get that data back. So what I had to do was I had to basically sit down, which I think I sat down on this for a couple of days, right? And I slowly kind of replayed the game a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but a lot. I replayed the game a lot, all the way up to the mansion bit. And I said, okay, I'm going to stream this now, right? So I streamed the mansion bit, and somehow, in a way, during the mansion bit right here, I can't believe that shit is still gone. I went over, I did the entirety of Mansion bit, basically all by myself. I even dealt with the Boogeyman, which Boogeyman took forever to fight right there, which I'm going to show you a frame of them. They took forever, mainly because I was pressing the wrong actions and I was looking like a jackass during it, right? So I looked completely dumb there. I didn't get the whole objective, right? So, by the way, I just want to say this now, right? Because I know I'm not going to probably mention it later, but I just want to say this, right? Coffin K. I need to talk about him. Coffin or Coffin K. Get it? Because it's coffin, like the word coffin, like the coffin that you put people in when they die, and then K, right? I did not think I would love Coffin K as much as I did, because when I played this game for the first time and witnessed him as a character and the Boogeyman in my first 2 videos, / I think even 3rd video, I did not give a fuck about him. I low-key did not care. I just wanted to we're going through the motions of, okay, these dudes they're filled up with shenanigans. What am I dealing with? Who am I putting up with? All that other sort of stuff, right? But this playthrough, this 4th video right here, aka I think it's going to be my final part of TS Underswap, because I don't know if I'm going to do the other routes. And that is because I'm so satisfied with the pacifist route. And I know the other routes for a lot of other people are cooler, but for me, I don't know. Maybe just pacifist is like my one-time experience, my way to go, and all that other sort of stuff, right? So, like I said, Coffin K, I did not think I would grow attached to this character, like, as much as I did. I thought he was going to be a character I just did not care about, that wasn't like Sans or Toriel or Flowey or like the regular Undertale cast. But no, this game goes out of its way to make me give a fuck about, TS Underswap and one of their characters. And you know what? I'm actually extremely happy about that. So, I was reading all of his dialogue, like just getting invested in the character and stuff, and it was great. And we even went to the Starstruck Festival because he wanted to steal the crown jewel, because keep in mind, he's he basically the evil man of all of the underground, basically doing like chaotic, evil things. Like evil things as in like ruining a birthday party, he'll come in and thrash it and make everybody his enemy and stuff like that. He was doing that for years over here in the underground because he didn't know what else to do. And I don't know why, but like what also kind of made me attached to him was when our character was having a moment. I think it's Chara in this verse. I can't remember, but what is it? Coffin K, after a little bit, after we stare off in the sky, he actually asks about us. He actually shows us a side of him that we never seen before. And I remember that kind of made me think, and I think I even predicted it in the stream itself right here, that Coffin K isn't actually that much of a bad person. He's just like either misunderstood or, he's actually just a good guy deep down, right? Because you clearly see that he gives a fuck about us, the player. He gives a fuck about us after we were staring at the sky, or the mountain, quote-unquote sky, the mountain sky, for so long, and kind of losing ourselves in the process, right? I just love that about Coffin K. Like, it shows that he does have a side. He does give a fuck. He doesn't just be like a villain that's just, he cares about his objectives and all that other sort of stuff and whatnot and so on, right? Dang, now it just feels so quiet without that noise. But then we kind of continue going to the Starstruck Festival a little bit. We cause a little bit of mischief because, Coffin K is all about that mischief. He's all about that evil stuff and quote-unquote. We even play a little game with Sans, like at his little thing, trying to hit the green target where he used our little life thing to kind of do anything about it. And then after a while, we get to the Ferris wheel and stuff, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to get to the crown jewel, like I mentioned earlier. By the way, thank you for the 8 likes. And then we kind of go into a whole fight in a second with Coffin K. I think I saved my game a little bit. Coffin K and Crossbones interact with each other, saying, whatever, I'm going to stop you, and little superhero stuff. And then we get into Coffin K's, like, boss fight, which basically he's just a hat with cloaks with a bunch of bats inside. It's kind of funny. But I actually really love Kofkin K's boss fight, and he does kind of fight similarly to Muffet, which I think is kind of funny. Like, more than one character having Muffet's fighting style in the underground is something, because I just was not expecting it, right? Especially if it's not from Muffet, right? But he does it in such a way with bats. Instead of with spiders, he does it with bats. But anyways, so as I was saying, my ear is going freaking crazy right now, which I keep touching it. I don't know why it's going crazy. But after fighting like Kofkin K and doing the pacifist route of the battle, I don't know, just his personality and the way he was, I did not think I would fall that much in love with a TS, like, underswap character that wasn't, like, a part of the main cast. I low-key just sat there for a minute after our battle was over, because keep in mind, right, he's fighting us out of desperation to become somebody different. Because keep in mind, he mentions to us that he pays his minions every day to talk to him. He pays his minions to be around in the mansion doing his mansion things all the time. And he doesn't really have any friends, you know. But he's that guy that just wants to, like, make friends and start anew instead of always being the dude that causes mischief around in the underground. He wants to be a kind soul that wants to start anew and start fresh with other people and maybe make actual genuine friends. And I love how in the pacifist route of this fight, you know, we actually become, I think, Coffin K's, like, first actual friend. And I know, like, Sand slash Crossbones still kind of takes him away afterwards. And honestly, I think even after my fight with Coffin K, I actually kind of wanted him to tag along with me for the rest of the adventure. I didn't want him to sort of leave after everything, because everything he mentioned about, I want to start anew, I want to be a good person, I want to be a good guy, I don't want to cause any more mischief, I'm done doing that shit, I'm done paying my minions to talk to me, I want to make genuine friends, I want to have a genuine good time in the underground. It's all my fault that I have become this sort of menace in the underground. I can change that if I was just given a chance. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you that fucking chance, because I love you, Kofkin K. I love that energy. I love that change-up. I want to fucking be with you for the rest of the game, because, frankly, I really did want to be with him in the rest of the game. I wanted to be on top of my head for the entire battle with Crossbones. I wanted him to be with me forever. I was like, dude, I fucking love this guy. I didn't think I'd love this guy nowhere near as much as a lot of other characters, but suddenly I really do, you know. But anyways, right? So, as I was saying right here, after the fight with Kofkin K, right, Dave, man, I was wishing so bad that this was a new Sans fight you're about to do. No, it's a review, man. This is review time. Review time, Dave. Review time. But anyways, so after a while, like, Crossbones says he wasn't, or not Crossbones, you know, they deal with shit. Basically, Crossbones slash Sans, right, was like, funny, you guys need to go to the punishment shack. And which his punishment shack is literally right next to his house, which we will know later. But I remember after Sans leaves, right, I was like, no, no. I think, let me actually, yeah.
Coffee K alone. That's my friend right there. What did I miss? He was just starting to turn good, and then Crossbones threw him in jail. Yeah, for real. Well, I mean, do you really want me to do a lyric thing for him? I don't even know.
Yeah, we were even talking about, in this video, we were talking about as well, like, should I do, like, lyrics for Kofkin K? Because I generally kind of fell in love with him in this game, or just as a character I fell in love with him, not like I fell in love with him, like, romantically or anything, but I fell in love with him as a character because I was just like, damn, dude, he's so cool, actually, like, what the fuck? How does this dude not have friends? And I wanted to do, like, lyrics about him and stuff, because I liked him. But I was so, like...
Remember, all my songs are off the top of my Chrome Dome, so...
Yeah, we were talking about that for a little bit. But anyways...
One of your greatest challenges, I think.
But anyways, as I was saying, right? So, more of just other stuff, right? I was wondering how to get Kofkin K, because I remember, like, I think RJ said, dude, you can find him in a trash bin or something, and I'm like, oh, bet, I can find him in a bin. Oh, yeah, I'm about to do that right now, like, and, I was like, oh, bet I could do that, right? And this is what I found one of the coolest things on the planet. And keep in mind, right, regular Undertale does not do this, and I really hate regular Undertale for not doing this nowadays, because as you guys know, in TS Underswap, you get to fight Sans in all 3 routes. Yep, you heard me correctly. So you get a pacifist fight with Crossbones, you get a neutral fight with regular Sans, and then, you know, for the evacuation route, or the Geno route, or the Merciless route, whatever you want to call it, you also get to fight Sans in all 3 routes. I don't know if you get to fight Papyrus in one of the routes. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But if you do, you do, I guess. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. But all I do know is that you get to fight Sans in all 3 routes, and this is something that I love, because keep in mind, right? When you play Undertale, right, regular Undertale, or most Undertale fan games, you only fight Sans when you murder everybody, when you kill everybody, when you do the Geno route or the Merciless route. That's the only time you get to fight Sans, or fight Sans at his strongest, or whatever, right? Or just whatever, you just get to fight Sans, right? Keep in mind, right, I'm a guy who loves doing Sans fights. I'm a guy who loves, like, going out of my way to do that. So, of course, I see the whole you pissed me off route, / you know, I hate you for everything that you done route, like Sans, right? But I love how TS Underswap actually says, we're not only just going to throw that in, but we're going to give you an entire fight where you have a fun time with Crossbones, too. And I love that, because I wish more Undertale fan games actually gave you, like, some type of Pacifist Sans or Pacifist Papyrus fight. I mean, well, Pacifist Papyrus fight wouldn't really make any sense, because, you know, he fights you in regular Undertale anyway, like, regardless of what route you do. But anyways, I just love that in this game, because you get to fight Sans in all 3 routes, and it doesn't matter, like, how far you go, you get to fight Sans anyway. And I think it's cool. And also, you can also, like, do what-if scenarios, like, what if you tried to, like, kill Sans during the pacifist route, or during your neut or pacifist route? You'd be like, well, what the fuck? He'd actually comment on that. But it's a whole thing, and I think it's so cool that Crossbones gives you a whole, and I mean this, a whole fight. Right? And I remember being so... And I remember just being so happy that I got to fight Sans in a pacifist light in the game without needing to go to, like, a website like Toby Fox's version, where he, you know, the 10th anniversary Sans fight, you know, ended up being the true pacifist fight for regular Sans, classic Sans. But anyways, I just thought this fight, like, with Crossbones was also kind of funny. And then also, like, you know, one of the best moments, I think, in TS Underswap, in my personal opinion, is when you hang out with Sans. You hang out with Sans, you get to know him for who he is and stuff, and Kofkin K still has dialogue with him. And I loved doing this hangout with Sans, because it felt super cool doing this, and I felt like this was easily the best part of the game. In my opinion, this was the best part. Obviously, because of this. This is one of my absolute favorite moments right here. And this is why I put it as a thumbnail. But you see Sans and Papyrus having a video game moment, right? And keep in mind, right, in regular Undertale, you don't really see the brothers really bonding over a game or over something like that, right? And I feel like these versions of Sans and Papyrus, obviously their personalities aren't really different from classic, you know, their universe, right? Classic Undertale's universe, but I really love just how they bond in this one as well. Like, it really kind of reminded me of how much I kind of wanted them to see them, like, bond more. Actually, I think they bonded more in TS Underswap, like, here in this version of the game, in comparison to the original. I mean, don't get me wrong, they still bond over there in the original. I'm not trying to say they don't, but, like, I don't know, just like the compassion route slash, hanging out with Sans moment and seeing like them just play a game and talk how they miss doing this, like miss playing games with each other, or just like miss having like them good slow times. Because keep in mind, Papyrus is busy doing a lot of other things. Like, he's editing movies, he's fucking all around the underground helping out other people, he's making comics up. Because keep in mind, in the underground, Papyrus and Sans, they both do like comic stuff. So like all that stuff for the Starstruck Festival, and it's like they don't get to have too many moments these days where they get to sit down and be two brothers just hanging out, right? And I remember even in my stream, like I think Void or somebody said like, yo, this kind of reminds me of like how like Lubit and Alan are sometimes, where they're just playing the game together. And I almost wanted to call it out and be like, man, you know what, that's so true, because I remember like me and Louie used to do that, and it kind of got me too in that way, because I remember me and Louie would basically like this is like before we had like any sort of big significant like I had any sort of like internet influence where I'm talking to viewers all the time nowadays, or not all the time, but you know what I mean. I'm making streams all the time nowadays and whatnot, and Louis wants to just do his own thing, which, hey, we still hang out. We're even planning to hang out today, too. Like, we're even planning to go out and go do shit together, so it's not like we never hang out or something, but I definitely understand, like, where, people are coming from when they say that this moment with Saints and Papyrus really reminds them of me and Louis and stuff, and it kind of got me. I didn't want to cry or anything, but like it kind of got me, because I'm like, damn, I love having those moments with my brother. Especially, I would love it on video, so I can always go back and just be like, damn, dude, me and Louis had tons of fun there. But Louis doesn't like being in my gaming videos and videos that often anyway. He likes kind of just being on his own and shit. And that kind of makes me sad, because I'm like, damn, dude, the video is 10 times funnier with you being involved, right? Or it's going to be 10 times more memorable in my head that, that you were there and stuff. Like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I still remember that, or New Super Mario Bros. U, like where we were doing shit together, getting mad together. Oh, man, those were some good-ass times right there, man, getting mad together and shit. At the same time, in the modern day, or I'm getting mad at Louis because he's doing some dumb shit, but at the end of the day, it was all fun shit. But anyways, I'm getting too into this moment, right? And after this moment was over, like Sans asked me, loving about the hangout and stuff, and honestly, it kind of reminded me as well, like that moment with Sans Papyrus. It also reminded me of how it used to be, where like I would go over to somebody's house or a friend's house that I used to have, and I would like be playing the same game as those guys were, like Devin and Donovan and Nick, especially Nick. I'd go over to his house all the time and play, and it would be some sort of experience. And I realized like nowadays I don't really have that. I don't really have that in-person, like, bonding anymore, It's always, I mean, I do have that in-person bonding when it comes to, like, Louis or my dad, but I mean, like, just with, like, friends and shit. I don't really have that, like, that in-person, like, bonding moments anymore, I haven't had that shit in, like, over 10 years now looking back. I've only had just, like, over the internet connection and stuff, which I don't mind either. I'm not trying to say, like, we don't have a connection even though we're only on the internet, but I would fucking love just to have like another like in-person experience. And that's what this moment just brings out of me. Like, damn, dude, I know I'm not like the most social person on the planet, because I've kind of become like a not a basement dweller, I wouldn't say that, but I've slowly become like some sort of like non-social-ish person, unless I'm with my homies, right? Like, if I'm with you and I know you and shit, we're about to have a fucking blast. But if I don't know you, I'm gonna want to go home. I'm gonna want to do other things. I'm not gonna be wanting to be there anymore, you know what I'm saying? Well, unless it was like Halloween or something where there's way too many people and I'm getting way too anyways, it's a whole thing, right? That moment reminds me of so much that it's like so much that this review can't fit in all at once, unless we want to sit here all day, which I apologize, because I was already giving this moment like more than 20 minutes of my fucking review, right? Anyways, Let me fucking get out of these brothers. They're ridiculous, man. They bring shit out of me, right? So after like a while of that, like we go near the end game, we go into the caves, right? And I was thinking the game was just gonna continue like for a very long time after this. And keep in mind, right? TS Underswap, at least by Team Switch, is only a demo, right? So when it ended, when we went into this little cart right here, I got so sad. And I really mean I got sad because I was like, damn, dude. I mean, I know the game already, TS Underswap, is already a couple of hours, especially when I get back into it. If I ever did, like, the other routes, like the neutral. And that's why I leave these My Experience videos super open, is because I never know if I want to go back and do, like, the neutral or the Geno routes just to see what would happen. But a part of me is nervous to do the Geno route or at least the neutral route on both those games or something, because I already got the best ending, so what's the point of going back, like the best / the canon endings of the games, what's the point of going back to, you know, either one of them to just kind of see like an ending that's not even canon. But my point is, right, is that after we went into those mines and we went into that wooden little elevator-like thing in the caves, I got so sad because the game was over. And obviously I was happy that it was over because I actually did True Pacifist. And after like starting TS Underswap like over 4 months ago and then going all the way down to just yesterday, meaning it took me 4 months to start it. I started it 4 months ago. And then during those 4 months after I started it, I just never bothered to come back and finish it until just yesterday. And again, I don't mind doing that for some fan games and stuff. I get it. Like why I quit originally and stuff. I get that. I'm not going to diss myself for quitting. I already did that enough in my Undertale Yellow review. But, oh man, it's just, I just wanted more. I wanted to see, like, Alphys as Undyne, or maybe it's Dr. Alphys as actual Dr. Alphys, or where was Undyne? Because we don't see Undyne throughout this entire game, and I'm getting excited to see what's coming up next. Like when they, you know, get when they get what is it? Like the caves bit done. I know Team Switch is probably working hard or maybe taking a massive break from the game after releasing it. But a big part of me was kind of like this, right? Hear me out, right? I almost don't want to play like TS Underswap like all over again. Like, right, let's say this, right? This is like the hypothetical. Hear me out on this one. By the way, thank you for the 8 likes. Appreciate it. I don't want to replay like the entire TS Underswap experience, right? All over, TS Underswap or TS exclamation point Underswap, right? I don't want to replay the experience, right? With the cave bit added, meaning I have to do the entire pacifist route again, but for that new bit of the game and for whatever that ending is. And then I would have to say ending there, and then if they ever come back, right, again, to finish up the game again, you know, truly finish it up, then I would have to say, oh, no, wait, my bad, it's part this or part that, or I'm done for now type shit. I would have to be, like, changing titles up like crazy. So I remember I questioned myself. I was like, do I really want to do, do I really want to do that again? And a part of me in that last stream of TS Underswap, I really was down to, like, do the neutral route so I can see what regular Sans fights like, because I was kind of curious. I wanted to see what TS Sans would fight like, but my stream, when I was still going after 2 hours something, my stream got a little buggy. And keep in mind, right, I don't like streaming stuff where my bitrate gets so bad where it's unwatchable. Like, you can barely see me. I'm just a big-ass black pixel. Or, like, my entire screen is, like, completely pixelated and it's not good anymore. And you can barely see me or not see me. And I know that happened in my Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit full playthrough. I know there was bits in that stream where it happened, or maybe for long periods where it happened. But I don't like that in my streams. I like it where my bitrate / my look is at least normal, or maybe at least glitched for a little bit and then goes back to normal after a second or a few seconds or whatever. I like that instead of the whole video goes bit rated and it just doesn't go back to normal and whatnot, right? So because at the end of that stream it was going into that route, and I started to notice that it's not only just my screen streams, like my streams that I do like with the gameplay screen on, but it's also these streams too that I have with the camera. It's also like the shitty bit rate's also coming out on them. And I don't know if it was just my internet that day, aka yesterday in this case, that's why. I still don't have no idea. Maybe it's the device itself that's getting old. I have no idea. And I don't think I'll ever know until, you know, I get a new device and see that, oh, that really was the problem the whole time, or some stupid shit like that. One day. But regardless, I was happy playing TS Underswap. I know, like, at the end of that video, I wanted to see what the neutral route was, and I was going to keep playing till I got the neutral route, but a big part of me was kind of grateful that that I just stopped the stream after it got shitty rate, because, you know, I also kind of wanted to finish something else up that day. I kind of wanted to go finish Mario Party or something that day, and I was, like, really done with the game. I felt done with Mario Party 8, so I went to go finish that after that stream, but anyways, that's not the point, right? That's not really canon to this video. We're only talking about TS Underswap here. You know, that's the game we're talking about. There are some things that I really loved about this game. You know, obviously, you can tweak in the difficulty to your liking. I really love that about TS Underswap. I wasn't really that much of a fan of the game having to, like, you know those puzzles where you have to find the right path, otherwise you'll fall in a hole. Really did not like those puzzles. Some things that really annoyed me were like small things, like maybe dialogue like taking a little bit longer to kind of sit through and get through, or maybe some small instances of things pissing me off. There really wasn't that much stuff that really got me, that, like, in comparison to other, like, Underswap, or not Underswap, damn it, now I'm mistaken. Underswap when I mean Undertale, then when I said Undertale, I meant Underswap. God, I hate it. But you get it, right? There wasn't too many annoyances with this playthrough. I mean, obviously, because I made it as easy as I could possible to get through, because I do like my journeys easy sometimes, because, as you guys know, most of my journeys that I go through when I play video games and all that stuff, it's always so goddamn hard. And it's always a struggle to get through them, right? All the time. So it's nice to have TS Underswap be that one game that, you know, that wasn't really that much of a bitch. You know, that, I mean, maybe in small increments it was a pain because I had to go over and find shit, like when I was, you know, the fetch quest shit, but, or doing a certain task, like the servant task or whatever the fuck. But other than that small stuff, like, the game was phenomenal. From what I played, you know, it was great. Like, every character felt like they were in character. Like, Papyrus was still himself. Sans was still himself with a small twist. You know, everybody else in the underground is interesting. I mean, we don't have just straight up Metaton, which I thought we would have in this game. But I love how it's, instead of Metaton, it was Meta-Lot, or whatever his name was. That's a ghost right there. That's something else. That's a fucking ghost right there. But anyways, I don't want to stretch this review as long as it has. I just want to say to Team Switched, my bad, not Switch, Team Switched. God, I hate their name. I wish they were like Team Underswapped or something, but it makes sense being called Team Switched. Shout outs to the team for creating a really good Undertale fan game, and I really hope that one day, and I know this might sound stupid to ask for, but can you make the neutral, like, can you just, like, and I know this is stupid, and I know I should not be asking for this, but Team Switch, and I know this is very unlikely, Team Switch, can you, like, make the neutral Sans fight, and the Extraction Sans fight, and the Pacifist Sans fight from, you know, TS Underswap be its own little mini-game? You know, like, and what I mean by minigame, it's like, for example, you open and, you go to their file on GameJolt, and it's also that as a game. Like, you get to select, like, you get a mini sand selector on mobile, and you get to select between the pacifist fight, the Geno, and the neutral. I'd love that, so that way I don't have to, like, replay the game. And this is something that I also had a problem with Delta Traveler as well, is I don't want to replay the game just to get to that point over and over again. I want to just have it readily available to me. That was something else I did not like. But anyways, or I don't like to think about. Anyways, I don't want to drag this review on, like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching my TS Underswap Pacifist / Compassion Root, like, experience video. I know this one's nowhere near as long or not quite as long as Undertale Yellows, but I kind of wanted to get this review out of the way because, you know, it's in the middle of the morning. I feel like I need a walk or maybe some type of tea or something. I have no idea, but just to kind of help the throat. Kind of want to do something a little bit more low-key and chill for a bit. Thank you guys all for showing up, and yeah, man, I don't know what else I'm going to do. Maybe I will do a Sans fight today. I'm kind of feeling it now because Dave said some shit, and yeah, I'll probably get up on that shit. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. If you guys enjoyed this review, let me know what other reviews you guys would like. I know I have to get on that Mario Party 8 review and that Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit review, which I will get on those someday. But until then, I'm going to see you guys next time, man. Peace. Also, make sure you check out my shorts. I know they were pretty late uploads, but still, check them out, man. There's some great shorts over there. A lot of Deltarune.